Close your eyes for a second. Now imagine this. You heard it, didn't you? Not just the words, the voice. That specific gravelly, stretched out roar that has echoed through Alexandra Palace for nearly 3 decades. You didn't need to see a dartboard. You didn't need to see a player. Just those 4 words in that voice, and you're there. You're watching darts. That's the power of a voice. And darts owes more to its voices than almost any other sport in the world. This is the story of the commentators and callers who didn't just describe darts. They made it famous.
Yes! Double 12! That is the most amazing 11 hours!
To understand why voices matter so much in darts, you have to understand what darts looked like before they showed up. In the early days of televised darts, the commentary was polite, restrained. The same tone you'd hear at a golf tournament or a snooker match. The commentator would describe the score, note the checkout, and move on. Professional, forgettable. Darts was a pub game being presented like a gentleman's sport. And it didn't work, because darts isn't a gentleman's sport. It's chaos, drama, and 3 dart finishes that change everything in a heartbeat. The commentary didn't match the sport. Then Sid Waddell opened his mouth and everything changed. Sidney Waddell was the son of a Northumberland coal miner who won a scholarship to Cambridge, studied modern history, and then spent the rest of his life shouting about darts on television. That combination, a Cambridge-educated historian with the soul of a pub regular, produced the most distinctive commentary voice in the history of British sport. His style was unlike anything anyone had heard. While other commentators described what was happening, Waddell created poetry out of it. When Eric Bristow was dominating in the early 1980s, Waddell didn't just say, "Bristow is playing well." He said, "When Alexander of Macedonia was 33, he cried salt tears because there were no more worlds to conquer. Bristow's only 27. That's not sports commentary. That's literature, and it came out of his mouth unrehearsed, unscripted, in the heat of a live broadcast. His one-liners became as famous as the matches themselves. The atmosphere is so tense, if Elvis walked in with a portion of chips, he could hear the vinegar sizzle in them. William Tell could take an apple off your head. Taylor could take out a processed pea. That was like throwing 3 pickled onions into a thimble. The BBC producers once told him off for mentioning Moses, Rod Stewart, and Ivanhoe all within 5 minutes of commentary. The bosses overruled them and gave Waddell complete freedom. They understood something crucial. People weren't just tuning in for the darts. They were tuning in for Sid. He commentated for the BBC through the golden era of BDO darts, then moved to Sky Sports in 1994 when the PDC launched. For the next 18 years, he was the voice of every major PDC tournament. His last commentary was at the 2012 Premier League final. He died of bowel cancer on August 11th that year, one day after his 72nd birthday. The PDC renamed the World Championship trophy the Sid Waddell Trophy. A commentator, not a player, not an executive. A commentator. That tells you everything about what his voice meant to the sport. If Sid Waddell gave darts its poetry, Russ Bray gave it its heartbeat. Bray wasn't a commentator, he was a caller, the referee who stands next to the board and announces the scores. In most sports, the referee is invisible. In darts, Russ Bray became one of the most recognizable figures in the entire sport. His story starts with an accident. One night at a county match, the regular caller didn't show up. Bray, who was playing darts at county level for Hertfordshire at the time, stepped in. He'd been a police traffic officer before that. No broadcasting training, no voice coaching, just a naturally raspy, booming voice that happened to be perfect for screaming 180 across a packed arena. The PDC contracted him in 1996. He was given his debut at the World Match Play in Blackpool. And for the next 28 years, he was there. Every World Championship, every major final, every historic moment. He was the caller when Phil Taylor hit the first ever televised 9-darter in 2002. He called 8 more 9-darters live on television after that. He stood 3 feet from the greatest moments in the sport's history and announced them to the world. What made Bray special wasn't just the voice, although that voice, that gravel-soaked, elongated 180, became one of the most imitated sounds in sport. It was the fact that he understood his role. He wasn't there to be neutral. He was there to amplify the moment. When a player hit a crucial checkout, Bray's call carried the weight of it. When the crowd erupted, his voice cut through the noise and gave the moment its punctuation. He retired after the 2024 World Championship Final, the one between Humphries and Littler. 28 years. His last match was arguably the most watched darts match in history. The PDC inducted him into the Hall of Fame. A caller, a man whose entire job was to say numbers out loud, and he became a Hall of Famer. Because in darts, the voice is part of the show. If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. I cover the stories behind professional darts every week, and there's a lot more to the sport than what happens on the board. And then there's Wayne Mardle, the man who brought darts commentary into the modern era. Mardle was a professional player first, a good one. He reached the World Championship semifinals twice. He was nicknamed Hawaii 501 for his colorful shirts. But his second career as a Sky Sports commentator is what made him a household name. Where Waddell was poetic and Bray was primal, Mardle is raw emotion. He doesn't describe darts, he reacts to it. When something extraordinary happens, Mardle's commentaries sound like a fan who can't believe what they're watching. Because that's exactly what he is. He's a genuine former player who knows exactly how hard these shots are, and his disbelief is genuine. His commentary on Luke Littler's 2024 World Championship run captured what millions of viewers were feeling. He brought the excitement of a sport that was reaching new audiences and made it accessible. You didn't need to understand darts to feel Mardle's reaction. His voice told you everything. And that's the evolution. Waddell made darts sound important. Bray made darts sound massive. Mardle makes darts sound human. 3 different eras, 3 different approaches, all essential to how the sport grew. Here's what makes darts unique among all major sports. The voices aren't optional, they're structural. In football, you can watch a match on mute and still understand what's happening. In tennis, the umpire's calls are functional, not entertaining. But in darts, the commentary and the calling are woven into the experience itself. A 180 isn't fully a 180 until someone screams it. A 9-darter isn't complete until the commentator loses their mind. The sound of darts is as important as the sight of it. That's why Sid Waddell has a trophy named after him. That's why Russ Bray is in the Hall of Fame. That's why Wayne Mardle is as recognizable to modern darts fans as most of the players. In most sports, the commentators are replaceable. In darts, they're irreplaceable. They didn't just describe the sport's rise, they caused it. Without Waddell's poetry turning darts into appointment television, without Bray's voice making every 180 feel like an event, without Mardle's emotion making the sport accessible to a new generation, darts would not be where it is today. The players throw the darts, the voices make them matter. Now, if you want to see what happens when talent alone isn't enough to survive in professional darts, I broke down the stories of players who had everything and still couldn't make it. That one's right here. And if you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do.